When the tables you move, come on.
Welcome back to Stillness Is, podcast. We got James Trapp, Patrick Sapp, Dan Watson joining us here.
Yes, sir.
I am Brian Moss. We're so glad to be here in beautiful Clemson, South Carolina, at the world famous SO Club. Beautiful day, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful day.
Game day. SMU. Is this their first time here in Clemson, I believe, right?
I don't
think
think so.
I think it is.
It is.
Little rematch from the ACC championship last year. I know we got a little bit in common with him as far as Chad Morris goes. You guys remember Chad?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
A lot of success. He's a good coach, man. He's a good
I
coach.
like
but,
it.
He
you know.
brought us success when he was here.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. High energy.
Yes, he
wide
is.
open offense. Loved every minute.
His
of
son
it.
is at UVA, right?
That's right. He's doing very well. They are doing very well.
We need him to
actually.
continue to do well.
Yeah, I'm happy for Tony Elliott, man.
Oh
He's
yeah, man! What a
great
what a
dude,
guy.
great
Yes.
dude, great
Did you
dude,
play-
great young man.
you
No,
play-
he's after me.
He's
He
younger
That's what I
than
thought.
us.
Yeah.
He's younger.
But I've got to know him over the years, and you know, he was the one that mainly recruited Josh when he was here at Clemson. So Josh really appreciate him and like him a lot as well.
Oh, that's excellent, man.
Yes.
So speaking of Josh, so we got a little bit of a resurgence on the team here, and Josh has done very well. The team as a whole, you know, going on the road, winning 2 in a row. Any thoughts you can give us on Josh? What's his mindset? Is there any thoughts he's given on the team and the direction that they're headed right now?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, we talk all the time, and for him, it's truly, you know, it's about his individual success, but more importantly, it's the team, man. You put a lot of work into it.
Yes.
But mentally, you know, for a while, like all of us, you know, they were stunned in that locker room as to what the reasons were that they were not being successful, right? And so when you're in that space, all you can do is go back to work, man. Just go to the basics, put the time in, believe in the process again. And I think that's why you've seen them on this 2-game winning streak. But not only just winning, but in the way that they won these last 2 games.
Yeah, it's impressive.
You can
Yeah, they
see the
dominated.
talent and where they should be. So
right.
he's in a good headspace right now. You know, they're going to have some challenges today with SMU, man, because I believe they're a much better team than their record says, too,
absolutely.
as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't know what you're going to get from them today, but the Tigers just got to be the Tigers, and if they do that, they'll win the game.
What's our status? Let's see. It's almost noon. We got a 3:30 game. Have they made the official announcement about Cade? Is he going to play or still questionable? Is that a game time decision?
Well, I think they're still leaving it as a game time decision. I haven't heard anything definite about if he's going to start or not start today. But, you know, when you're in that space, man, you got to prepare for both guys.
That's right.
I know if he can go, he's
Next
a
man
competitor.
up.
Yeah, he's going to go, but that's a part of it. You work that, hey, if somebody goes down with an injury with a program like this, it shouldn't be a loss, right?
That's
it's the
right.
next guy
That's right.
up and
That's right.
plug in and play.
Team.
Yeah. Plug and play.
What's your thoughts? You think we're gonna take it?
Well, I do. I mean, I think the offense and defense, you know, with the defensive coordinator being down on the field now, you can tell that's been a different strap.
Huge.
It's been a huge
I've been
change.
waiting for that myself.
He's more hands-on, I believe.
Yeah.
He can get in the guys' faces. He can, you know, he can draw up the schemes a little better for the guys. I think that's what's changed the defense, and I think that's going to continue to, you know, show fruit as we move forward in the season.
Yeah, it's nothing about the leader being down there, right? You know how it is, man.
right.
When you
Yeah.
come off the field, you play for some good DCs. But it's a difference when your position coach
We're
talks
right
to
there
you.
in your face, right?
Yeah, right in your face. Get out of you what he
there you
exactly
go.
what he wants in the position that you need to be put in. And I think that has changed
I think it was a
the
great
focus
move.
of the defense, and I think
Yeah.
it's going to continue to show proof.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought it was always a disadvantage when I heard he was going to be up in the booth. I'm like, man, this dude got so much energy.
That's right.
And passion.
Yeah, we need to
like,
see it.
I could imagine how he was acting in the booth up there.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Yeah.
the
That's
players
probably
need
why
to
they never
feel
put
that.
the camera on him.
I think he broke some stuff. Maybe that's why they got him
Oh,
out of there.
listen, I am sure that he did, but I'm glad he's down there, and you could see the guys responding. And then Cabe has played well these last 2 games. You know, he's seeing it now better than he was
Yeah,
early in the
definitely.
season. You could definitely see that.
Letting it
And-
develop a little more.
yeah, and just give it to the playmakers.
That's right.
and
But
he's
also
done that.
more creative, right? I mean, last couple of games, I've seen some really creative plays that they opened up the offense.
Yeah.
is what I've seen.
Yeah, and I think as a coordinator, I mean, I've been there in the sense of, man, when your quarterback's playing well, you're more amped to open up the playbook and
Right,
be
right,
more
right.
creative.
Yeah.
But if you can't execute the basics,
That's right.
it's hard to want to call
Yeah.
those double moves or those
But
vertical
they also had
routes and
a lot
stuff.
of new players, right? They had a lot of new offensive line come in as well.
Yeah, they had some injuries at left tackle, and so
The O-lines look good.
yeah,
last couple of games.
the
Real
Anderson
good.
kid
Yeah.
is played a lot in the last game, and you've seen him kind of rotate more at other positions as well. And I think you'll see that continue to build that depth. And again, we talk about the injury to the quarterback position. You got to be ready if there are injuries other places.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And these guys have a little bit of experience.
The show must go on.
Yes, it does.
So what's our keys to the game, P? On
you thinking?
offense.
Keys to the games for me offensively, man, just start fast. I think when you can see when we start fast, mean to have success in that first drive, at least get a field goal in that, we play
Yes.
much better
Right.
when we do that. But I think running the football today is going to be key.
Mm-hmm.
Got to run to be able to run the football. And with that, if you got a backup quarterback in, you got to help them.
Yes.
So it's giving them some easy completions. Then take some shots. So I think you'll see them mix it around. But I think if we have Chris in the game, Vecino as the backup, I think you'll see us emphasis on the run a little more
Yeah.
than we did in the passing game.
So when you say start fast, you mean like try to do trick plays like they did against North Carolina? Because I was actually watching the Spurrier SEC story last night, and when he was at Duke, he'd always start off with a double pass. You guys see that? He always the first play would always be he'd throw it to one guy, he'd throw it down. But he was the master of trick plays, and just the North Carolina when the first right off they went off the bat. Is that something you say start fast, or does it always have to be, just trying to have a good run game and run up the middle kind of thing?
No, I would say, I know our offense, we always run off a script in that first
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being able to be successful on that script, and again, that's getting a touchdown. If it takes 8 plays, 9 plays, but not stall or 3 and out on that first drive is what I'm saying about starting fast. It's not really the play call itself. It's can you get on the board in that first drive?
So when do you go off the script, though? So I know you guys have had the game plan, and you have, I've always heard you have 25, 40 plays, whatever. But so things aren't going first 3 or 4 times you come in there. When do you change that?
Well, I think it's you never really change it. You just adjust,
Okay.
right? And I think and
Script
only
B and
time,
C?
yeah. Well, meaning you may have an order of plays that you want to call it, but down the distance kind of dictates what
Where
you
you
call.
are.
But also, aren't you watching the defense and the guys in the box are trying to say, hey, man, I think we need to, run this type of play? They're communicating that as well. So you go off the script, right?
Well, no. Here's what I would say to that is, hopefully, you've game planned well enough, you watched enough film, to that your script can handle whatever
What
that
they're
they're going to
doing.
put
Whatever
out there
movements they're
defensively.
putting out there.
And so you have, right now we got 6-7 games of film to see what SMU does defensively, and you're not going to invent a new defense in this part of the year. You
Right.
may run some coverages or combinations that you haven't ran before.
Good point.
But you're not going to totally change your strategy.
I got
so
you.
as an OC, you got to design plays to counter that, and your script is supposed to be able to handle all of those adjustments. It's just being able to dial in the right play and the right down is really where it comes down to.
So sort of like Brett Favre, when you ever in that famous story,
No.
and he didn't know the dime, he didn't know the nickel, he didn't know what that meant. And they said, hey, Brett, coach just want to let you know I can't remember if it was dime or nickel. During the dime, he's like, okay. He said later on, he went and asked the other quarterback, said, hey, man, what does that mean? He said, that just means they take a linebacker out and put another defensive back in. He goes, man, who gives a boop? He had no idea what that meant. He was a pro and had no idea what a dime, nickel. He had no idea what the other side was doing. And I guess that's what you're saying. I mean, you got your plan. You got to stick to it and do what you do best, right?
Yeah, and I would say this though, since you mentioned Steve Spurrier, to me now, he's one of the best play callers that I've seen in college football ever since I've been around it, in the sense that he's a guy that has a script, and if defensively they doing something that he can attack right now,
He's going to
he
he did it.
don't care he
Going
is going
for it.
to attack
Yeah,
that.
that's
If
right.
it's the second play of the
Yes.
game, if it's the fifth play of the game, he is going to attack those adjustments right now. And I think that's really what made him an effective OC and a head coach.
Absolutely.
So I mean, when you look at it, even from a defensive perspective, you know, being able to continue to run our stunts, you know, run our zone pressures, I think we're going to be successful doing that. You know, just gearing the guys up, making sure, you know, no one gets the ball over our head, gets behind us. It's going to be paramount in this game because, you know, SNU is going to come out with that 2-minute offense. They're going to come out, you know, getting that ball out their hands, throwing it around the yard. So we got to make sure that we're able to, you know, put that right amount of pressure on them and be in the right zones, you know, to cause some havoc. Just get him to hold the ball for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So-
going to get hit.
So the question I have too for both you guys, so college, what was the difference between college and pro, right? So college, was it more schemes? Was it more complicated schemes? Or what was it? What was, you know, or is it the same thing except you just got better athletes?
So you say scheme, you talk about offense, defense?
No, I'm talking about defense. You guys both play defense.
No, man, the NFL is way
different.
more complicated.
More complicated.
As far as scheme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? College, to me, if I was a defensive coordinator in college, I'd make it simple, stupid. And that way it's simple and let my athletes and my players play. I think if you can eliminate as much thinking as possible defensively on a collegiate level, the more successful you're going to be, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you agree with that,
across
Trap.
the
What you
board.
think?
That's offense and defense.
Yep.
You know, keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yep.
So they can go out there and perform because this is about talent. You know, man on man, your team got more talent than that team, whereas in the pros it's different. You know, everyone's an All-American just about, right, in the pros. So you got to scheme a little bit more. Not to say that, you know, college kids can't get the schemes. It's just easier to allow them to play faster. Hey, don't get so caught up in this convoluted with all these different schemes and process.
Right.
Have a certain amount of stunts, certain amount of zone pressure, certain amount of zones, certain amount of man coverage. Go from there. Just like on offense, you got 3 wides, 4 wides, regular offense. You know, just go from there and just and play ball.
So what slows down a great athlete?
Thinking.
That's right. When they have to indecision, right? So
Yes.
either schemes, but misdirection, or too many complicated plays, and like, man, I can't remember. You know, so now you just stop an athlete altogether. I really believe that. I think that when you're on offense, if you have misdirection, you have all these great athletes going different ways. The defensive person, instead of just having that one person where they can just go after, now you got to have different schemes. I was watching the Washington Redskins the other day, and man, they had guys going in and out, Debo going across. Man, so to me, that's what slows down a great athlete indecision, right?
Yeah, well, and so from an offensive standpoint, everything is designed, right, to confuse defense, to make them blow a coverage or an assignment, right, to make things look different, but you're only running probably 20-something different plays, but I'm going to run it out of, 20 different formations and motions and all of that. So I run a motion. I want to see if they're in man or zone. And sometimes with all the crossing routes, as Trapp knows, if you in man-to-man, one of the hardest things to do is to cover a guy
Across
on the
the
crossing
field.
route
Yes,
because
it
he
is.
can run away from you. Sure. And then you send, a high-low crossing routes. So sometimes they may pick each other. You may knock the defensive players off. So that's why you see, especially in the NFL, you see a lot of high-low and a lot of crossing routes. Is just you just want to get a step because the quarterbacks are good enough to put the ball where they need to in the NFL.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about what Stillness Is Illness is doing with all the chronic disease nonprofits out there. We just had a great meeting with Alzheimer's, and so we're going to be teaming up with them. And if you don't know about Stillness Is Illness and what we do, we work with all the chronic disease entities out there, the Heart Association, diabetes, stroke, and Alzheimer's. What we're trying to do, this whole platform is about illuminating what they do. So these entities are doing great work, but what our job is to bring more people to the table. So Patrick, talk about Stillness Is Illness and how what our mission is and what we're trying to do to accomplish that goal, to prevent chronic disease, not after it happens. Try to get somebody to go back, but we're trying to prevent, and we do that through movement. Matter of fact, when we did all the studies on that, that was every one of them was about movement. Okay, so it's got you. That's when the day moves, you move, right? So
Yes.
that's where we are, and just talk a little bit about the mission and what our overall goals will be going forward.
Yeah, so you talk about the American Heart Association that we partner with, and Alzheimer's as well as another partner. We're assisting them in what they do, but also with our knowledge and being athletes and business folks that we are, and Trapp being in that spiritual realm, man, and really dialed into that, prayerful into that. Me being a mental health therapist myself, we can add to our experiences to those platforms that you talk about. And then it's our mission as we look at it, Stillness Is, man, it's truly to be in that space to really strengthen you spiritually and sustain you spiritually, to help you do that. Mentally is really to help you focus on how to task that out on a daily, right?
The discipline.
Yep.
Yes,
And
sir.
then the physical supports all of those things, right? And so I know this, being a therapist, folks that come in that I give therapy to, a lot of the issues when we talk about adults, man, really in the mental space, a lot of them lack some of that spiritual belief and the power of living in that space, and living and breathing that. But then also a lot of folks just not moving and being active, right?
Yes.
Either they're working 50 hours a week and
Yep.
they feel like I
right.
can't do anything but go to work, come home, take care of my family, and then in the same time I'm losing my physical health.
Right.
Yes.
Right, and then that in turn feeds, diabetes and high blood pressure, which then is another stressor and anxiety because you're
That's right.
worried about
Yes.
your health
Yeah.
and how long you're going to be here.
That's right.
Right, and so now you start that space. And so what we do with creating the 15-5, being able to wake up in the morning and do 5 exercises, 15 reps in about 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Throughout
That
the day.
just-
Throughout the
yeah.
day, though.
And
right?
that starts that process of feeding that, man. And it's not something that's gonna be, fruitful in a week, but you gotta stay consistent, and then you'll start seeing how that truly impacts you. I do it in the mornings, and by the time I get to my office, man, I got blood flowing and I'm ready to work.
Yeah.
I'm ready
That's
to
right.
go. And I can tell the difference when I don't do that.
Right.
And so
It
I really
becomes-
truly believe in that. And I enjoy what we're doing. I enjoy the message that we're trying to get. And as we continue to develop the partnerships that we have, we want to create that movement. That is our goal.
That's right.
Right? Movement to where if you're 20 years old, a college student, high school athlete, middle-aged man with 5 kids, or grandpa and grandma, this is the platform for you
It
that
is.
that we've created.
That's right. And Trapp, you've got your own personal journey ties
Yeah,
right in with
it's-
stillness
it's-
illness. If you could touch on that a little bit and how your own life ties into the platform.
Yeah, the platform is tied into me, so it's like,
Yeah.
waking up every morning, making that decision. Like Pat saying, getting that 15-5. It's not getting it out the way, but it's a need. Like, you get the blood flowing, get the oxygen moving throughout your body. So I really enjoy doing my 15-5 because not only is it helping me, even though I take a lot of medications, it still gets me alert, ready to go, and push down a lot of the things that would probably cave in on me if I didn't. If I didn't do the work, my body would probably cave in. So I walk around, people look at you like, hey, they don't know you were a cancer guy. They don't know
Right.
you had these different things because you're taking care of your body. You're eating well, you're sleeping well, praying well, reading the Word of God, sharing the Word of God. It's like I say, when the day moves, I literally move, and I'm enjoying it. I love our platform. I love that it's attainable for anyone. At any age.
Yeah.
And I really feel like with our crew here, Sit and Spin Studios, you know, and us sitting up here hosting this. But I really think that we are going to change some lives, continue to change
That's right.
lives.
I agree, man. And
It
your
just-
mindset's always so positive. I think you embody all three of the elements, you know, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual.
thank you.
But your mindset, you're always an encouragement to not only us, but everybody around you that people may not know what you are and have been through. But just a testament to you and just to show that it works.
Hey, Brian,
works.
since we're here, let's talk about that. Let's talk about who these gentlemen are. Maybe
Absolutely.
everybody didn't.
That's right.
Wasn't a Clemson football fan, and the people that are tuning in, they don't know who James Trapp and Patrick Sapp is. Let's talk about, you know, who those guys are and, you know, and what their background is. That's what I really want to get on there, because that's very important of where they came from and where we're trying to go, right? So that
That's right.
Ask them those questions.
Let's
on
go,
that.
man, because we've known you for, you know, back in the
What,
days
30-something
of,
years?
the late '80s here, being college students, and Pat came into the mix as well. So
91.
yeah, let us know about you, man. Tell us, you
Ah,
know, when
man.
you
Don't
were here, what you had
don't be bashful either, because he's not gonna tell us. So we got
right.
we got
We
the
will.
fastest man to ever go to Clemson. I ran track with him. Never seen anything like it. World champion at Olympics, gold medal Olympics. Also world champion in football. The pedigree and what you've been through, man, and just I've never seen anybody move like you did. And the fastest thing I've ever seen. So I actually thought I was fast until I got beside you and Michael Green. Actually, I never raced trap. When I raced Michael Green one day, and I said, they said, all right, Watson, you can be running against Michael Green. And so he's a Jamaican guy. I said, listen, man, I'm about to wipe you off. I'm gonna tear you up. He said, are you kidding, man? I said, no, man, I'm going to get you. Man, by the time I picked my leg up, that cat was 6 yards in front of me. I said, God, don't Moses. But you guys had the same type of speed, man. You can't imagine it until you see it, man. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was amazing. You know, we had a great time here at Clemson, you know, being on our track team. He was the first green machine before they had Hussein Bolt. He was he was a Jamaican Yams guy, Michael Green. I love him.
Yeah.
But you know, just you know, like I said, the testimony is what it was. You know, I was a rough head, came through Clemson, spent a long time in the NFL as a rough head, gave myself to the Lord, man, and really have been moving from there in the spirit, just kind of moving through, being able to be a pastor here. As we spoke earlier today, you know, I was actually a chaplain here on campus on staff with Dabo, so that was, you know, an experience in its own right, just being able to pour back into the young people and pour into the community around here in Clemson, you know. And then, you know, I was actually, like I said, we say it all the time, I was Sapp's host, you know, and that was an amazing feat just
That
to
sounds
have.
like trouble to me.
To have a phenomenal athlete like Sapp come in, because, you know, his story speaks volumes as well.
Yeah.
You know, the
We need to
testament
hear
to
that
being
as well.
a real athlete, you know, being able to go from, you know, a highly recruited quarterback to getting drafted in the NFL in the second round as a linebacker. I mean, that
Amazing.
I want to hear Patrick tell that story. So quarterback, I remember seeing Patrick Sapp playing quarterback. Next thing I know, I see Patrick Sapp playing linebacker. I said, what the hell?
Yeah.
How'd
Man,
that
it was-
happen?
So, yeah, man, it was, you know, I came here as a quarterback from Florida, man, and me and B-Dog came in and you know, having an opportunity to play as a true freshman. And we talk about the platform that we have and the mental, right? And the spiritual side of it is, man, I went through some adversity.
Yeah.
You know, and really, as an athlete, Clemson was the first time I ever been through personal adversity in the sport, right? Because started as a freshman, started as a sophomore, I got benched as a sophomore, won my job back in the spring, started my junior year, then I get benched again in my junior year at quarterback. And a lot of people don't know this, but I played receiver the rest of the season, my junior year, and then I played basketball that spring. But I had 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 years, man, and I literally was kind of tired of the position.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, playing quarterback, you guys watch the game. Us that's been around and played quarterbacks, man, we have to kind of be cerebral all the time. You can't show much emotion.
Right.
You know, so you enjoying the game from a competitive standpoint, but I like to say you're not free.
Yeah.
right? You're not free to just live in the moments. So I went to Coach West that spring. I wanted to move to linebacker, and he thought I was crazy. He was like, "What?" He was like, "Patrick, you're gonna play at quarterback." I'm like, "Coach, it's not about playing." I say, "Man, I just want to," and I really said it to him like this: like, I've been unselfish for 3 years. I think I have the right to be selfish, one time.
That's awesome.
And moving to linebacker. And he was like, "Man, you didn't play linebacker in high school." I'm like, "Nope, I didn't. I didn't play any defense."
That's crazy.
And he was like, "You're not gonna be able to do it." And I'm like, "Coach, I know what I can do, man. I know it."
So I thought you played in linebacker in high school. You didn't
no,
play
I
defense?
didn't play it in high school.
That's
I didn't
crazy.
play defense at all. And so we
Golly.
went around about an hour and a half about why I should not. And he finally just looked at me and said, "Do you trust me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I trust you, Coach." He said, "All right, I'm gonna watch you the first day of spring practice at linebacker, and then I'll make the decision after that." And he came to me after that practice, said, "You started outside backer, man." And I just kind of set daily goals, and we talk about I set daily goals in spring practice. I set, a strength lifting goal for that summer and spring. And then I set goals daily during the season and for every game, man. And I just tried to live literally and win every day and get better at the position.
And you did.
And so it worked out for me. But to me, that was a lesson that has been lifelong, because now in business, hey, I've failed in business, but I've been successful in business, but I don't quit. That's the thing that I've learned mostly is stay at it, man. Most time when you stay committed to something, it'll work out for you.
It always comes back.
That's definitely mental fortitude. I mean, was that the biggest component of the 3 foundations of stillness illness? You think in that particular situation, is the mental the toughest?
The mental and the spiritual, man, because you always know God have you, right? And so that decision you make, even though it's in the midst of everybody's doubting it and everybody thinking you crazy, you got to have enough of that base in you to be okay with that.
You're like, I know I'm crazy, but I'm still going to do this. Right?
And then the mental is just, hey, understanding that process, having that self-strong belief, man, and then being able to dial in daily to get the results that you want. And so I practice that to this day. That's how I attack everything that I do. Just having a dream is, that's a dream, man. A goal, you got to put work to it, right?
Yes, you do.
A dream, you can say, hey, I'm dreaming to be, worth $2 billion, but I can just dream.
That's right.
A goal is I got a working plan, action items.
I tell y'all what, we need Duke to win this game. Duke is a catalyst for us going forward.
That's right. Let's go, Duke.
They play a couple of teams. We need them to beat them, and then we need to whoop them butts next week. So,
hey, back to what
It's
Patrick
coming.
was saying. And I always said that hope is you can hope for things, but hope has nothing to do with your success. You have to decide you're going to do something. And I hope I lose some weight. Well, but if you don't have the action, if you don't move to do things, if you don't understand how to do that, then you're not going to lose weight. Hope is just something that you hope that it doesn't rain. You can't control hope. You can just hope for it. But then when you decide you're going to make a decision, I'm going to go out there and make a difference, and I'm going to do what I need to do to make things happen, that's the difference. And that's when you go from A to B. And what you did, man, I didn't even know that you didn't play that in high school. I thought he just took up his old job. Man, you didn't play defense? That's such a different thing. I played football in high school. I couldn't imagine going at it. And also what you did was talking about, playing quarterback and having the linebacker, the quarterback perspective, playing a linebacker. I thought that was really cool that, most people never even thought about, on.
Yeah. I mean, that's, quarterback, I have to know everything about defense. You got to know fronts. You got to know weaknesses of coverages. Mm-hmm. You got to know leverages, all types of stuff, right? And so I literally just turned the game around.
Dang, that's
and
crazy,
impressive.
I went to linebacker. Okay, I knew formations. They was trying to leverage, right? Yep. And load up at the point of attack. In the passing game, I understood, formations to understand, okay, you're probably going to get this combination out of these routes, you know, et cetera. And that helped me because I didn't have the instincts, the natural instincts to play the position because I didn't have much experience at it. So I had to kind of make up with the knowledge base to make up for those lack of instincts.
Man, when I dunked on you in Fike, I didn't know I was dunking on such an amazing athlete.
Dan, listen, I know hey, what was his nickname, Trapp? White Chocolate? That was
Chocolate.
White Chocolate at college. Now, I know you had the hops.
Don't slip on him.
But
I think I
Trapp,
remember getting you, though.
I'm going to meet him outside that lane, though. I ain't letting him get to the rim.
There you go.
Unfortunately, that was the days before video evidence.
Right.
So we don't know. Nobody captured it. I didn't see it on anybody's Instagram.
Hey,
so
in my
we don't
mind,
know.
I got you. You were one of those guys that just got you.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with Stillness Is Illness.
All right.
Everybody stick around. All right, SO, we got you.
This podcast is brought to you by CataZoom, based in Greer, South Carolina. They're the pros behind the upstate's sharpest vehicle wraps, wall murals, and storefront graphics, helping businesses look their best and stand out from the crowd. Ready to get noticed? Visit catazoom.com